When I was young, a little girl, I didn't know where to go. And then you came.
Today it's strange to think that slavery ever existed, that such human cruelty is even possible. It's easy to move forward and not look back. But in order to ensure that slavery does not return as a modern institution, it's important to remember to listen to the voices of slavery. In the 15th century, with the emergence of the triangle trade, more and more Africans were being captured, kidnapped, and shipped overseas.
There were horrible conditions on the ships. There was little food or water, and due to the tight quarters, illness spread rapidly while on board. Many died even before reaching America.
Those who survived were sold at slave auctions. Families that had managed to stay together up until this point were often separated. Many slaves, especially those purchased in the southern states, were often taken to big plantations where they were forced to work and received no pay. Field workers got very few breaks and were forced to work even when the temperature was dangerously high. As a form of protest, it was not uncommon for slaves to break tools or fake illnesses to avoid working. Slaves were usually housed in slave quarters, usually nothing more than a small, unsturdy structure.
They often housed very large numbers, leaving slaves with very little personal space or privacy. Slaves received brutal treatment from their owners. This often involved endless whippings, sometimes to the point of death. To escape these atrocities, it wasn't uncommon for slaves to attempt to run away. Some were successful, but many others were caught and returned to owners who would then administer even harsher punishments.
My name is Fountain Hughes. I was born in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Fountain Hughes is one of only 26 former slaves whose story has been recorded with audio. In the interview, Hughes describes life as a slave, the Civil War, and the freedom that came afterward.
It's what they call, we were slaves. We belonged to people. They sell us like they sell horses and cows and hogs and all like that, have an auction bench, and they put you up on the bench and bid on you, the same as bidding on cattle, you know.
Was that in Charlotte that you were a slave? Was that in Charlotte or Charlottesville?
That is in Charlottesville.
Charlottesville, Virginia.
Sell the women, sell the men, all that. And then if they had any bad ones, they'd sell them to the nigger traders, what they call the nigger traders, and they'd ship them down south and sell them down south.
Slavery is embedded in our history. Not only has it affected the slaves themselves, it has also affected us. We can't deny that history has been shaped by slavery and the overall mistreatment of certain groups of people. This part of history can be properly acknowledged by listening to the voices of slavery.